Excuse me.
Careful. Thanks.
Still my favorite animal.
You dragged this old bear around till most of the stuffing fell out.
Maybe skinnier, but I still have it. You know what else I have? The best dad in the whole world.
I'm gonna miss you, Jen.
I'm gonna miss you too, Dad.
Oh, it's hard to believe it's been 16 years since we moved into this house. Strange thing is, we thought when we were moving in, we were going to be taking care of Mary. It turned out she was the one who was taking care of us.
I don't remember a lot about Mary. Just how much I loved it when she used to read to me.
Oh, she loved it even more than you did. That's why she left us this house. So you could grow up here and one day get married here. Just before she died, Mary asked me to save this. For you.
Oh, Dad, it's so beautiful.
She wanted you to have it on your wedding day.
I wonder how she met her husband. You never knew anything about David, did you, Dad?
No, just from that portrait up in the attic. But their love story was amazing. They met during the Second World War. The company that David owned had just won a contract to build a scout plane engine for the U.S. Army. So naturally, he was working around the clock to beat his production deadline.
Look, boss. Yeah. I know you're busy, but we gotta do something about the bottleneck. We're redesigning the finishing operation to solve that. You'll have the new grinders by next week.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Where do I go to apply for the secretarial position?
I'm afraid Mr. Parkin isn't seeing any more girls today.
Well, has the position been filled? I have experience and references. I take shorthand and I type 90 words a minute. I'm very organized and I do really need this job.
I'm sorry. Why don't you just come back tomorrow?
Excuse me. Hello. Are you here for the secretarial position?
Well, I was, but I got here too late, so I never got to speak to Mr. Parkin.
Well, maybe you still can.
No, he's not seeing anyone else today.
Don't give up so easily. Let's go talk to him.
It's all right, I can come back tomorrow.
No. You made a special trip. Come on, he'll see you. I promise.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
What sort of man is he?
Well, might as well warn you. He's a bear to work for.
Oh, maybe to be better.
No. Please, take a seat. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet with you.
How do you know?
Well, I'm David Parkin. I'm sorry. You seemed so earnest, and I was just being playful.
And I was being foolish.
No. Well, let's start all over again. Hello, I'm David Parkin.
Mary Chandler.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Parkin.
The pleasure is mine, Miss Chandler. Please, take a seat. How are we doing? Any better?
I brought my employment record.
So, what brings you to America, Miss Chandler?
Oh, well, after my mother died, my father and I came... My father and I came over.
As you can hear, I collect timepieces. Go on, Miss Chandler.
Yes, well, we came over from England because he wanted to find a new life over here. But with jobs so scarce during the Depression, he never really could find steady work.
I understand. Unfortunately, my father was a failure, too.
I don't consider my father to be a failure, Mr. Parkin. Now, I believe I've told you all you need to know. Thank you for considering me.
Miss Chandler, I'm sorry if I've offended you. And I hope this doesn't mean that you won't come to work for me.
You mean I have the job?
Monday morning, 8 sharp.
Good morning, Mr. Parkin's office.
Four machines like this, they actually type this heat. Little by little, going all the way over.
Mr. Parkin, I have the list to Mr. Garrett.
I hear your typewriter in my dreams, Miss Chandler. And no matter how early I get here, you still beat me to it.
I couldn't sleep very well last night, so I decided to come in early. There's so much catching up to do.
You're a great secretary. I'm lucky to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Parkin.
You're welcome. It's 2 hours later in Washington, so see if you can get someone in the procurement office, Miss Chandler. Oh, would you mind if I called you Mary?
Give me a count off label 14. Yes, sir. Here are the new specs on the gearbox for the A57 multi-bank. Oh, and the tank arsenal is stepping up its production. So to match it, we're gonna have to be adding 2,000 more units a week.
Hey, you better get out of here. I hear you missed the last bus the other night.
Yes, I lose track of the time.
I don't know how you can do that with all these clocks around here.
Well, I know the pressure you're under, and I hate to leave anything for tomorrow if I don't have to. Good night, Mr. Parkin.
Good night, Mary.
Good night, Mr. Gibbs.
Miss Chandler. Awfully familiar, aren't we? Well, I mean, you hardly know this Mary. You're already too fond of her, Dave.
I'm not fond of her. I just admire her competence and efficiency.
Are you sure it's her work ethic that you admire? It's not like you to have your head turned by a woman.
I just want to make sure she makes the last bus. And besides, this woman is different.
Yeah, that's what every man says just before he makes a fool of himself. Just remember your own words of wisdom concerning marriage.
Yeah, marriage is the worm that conceals the hook, and I haven't changed my mind, okay?
Mary?
Father Mike. What am I going to do?
Just what you're doing. Putting your trust in God.
I don't know how much trust I have left.
You're a strong woman, Mary. You're gonna be all right.
May I help you?
Oh, you must be that English voice I heard on the phone.
Yes. Mary Chandler, Mr. Parkin's secretary?
Barbara Hayworth. And you don't need to announce me, Mary. David and I are old friends.
Miss Hay...
David!
Barbara, you look beautiful.
Thank you. Didn't your new girl give you my message?
She did. I was going to call you as soon as I had a free moment. It's been hectic. But you can certainly put me down for a sizable contribution to the USO.
We want more than just your money, David. We've decided to hold the dance right down there in your parking lot. What better connection to the war effort, hmm?
I suppose that might work.
I knew you'd love the idea. Now, don't worry about the decor. My committee will take care of everything. Have to run. I'm already late for my stint at the canteen.
Nice to see you again, Barbara.
With a little effort, you could see me more often, you know. You must be looking for the hiring hall. It's downstairs.
Actually, Mr. Parkin was expecting Mr. Flynn. You can go in now, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, Mr. Parkin. Mr. Flynn to see you?
Lawrence.
Mr. P.
How are you? Mary, I want you to meet someone.
Miss Chandler and I have already met. I've been watching her out there trying to make some sense out of your mess.
Yeah, my mess. Lawrence is godfather to most of my clocks.
Oh, you know, I never realized there were so many different types of clocks. Should I hold all your calls?
Unless it's FDR. Thank you. All right. What are you going to tempt me with today?
The owner wants $200 for it. I'd offer him $1. You interested?
It's a beautiful piece. But it's a woman's watch. What would I do with it?
It's a rare piece. But you're right. It is a kind of a gift a man would give his sweetheart.
If the man had a sweetheart, right? Did you ever think about getting married?
Not really. I guess I never found the right one.
Take a look at our new grinder design. We've got to cut production time in half without affecting our quality.
You could set the axis of the cutter at just a hair more of an angle.
Yeah, that improved profile accuracy. Why didn't I see that?
Well, you would have if those Washington people would just give you enough time to take a deep breath. Well, I best be going so you can get back to winning the war.
The war will go on without me. Always time for you, Lawrence. Be good to you, Steve.
If I don't, who will, huh?
Yeah.
Likewise, Mr. P. Well, Miss Charlie, it's just nice knowing that you're here taking care of my old friend. Just make sure he doesn't work you to the bone like he does himself.
Oh, I'll try not to, Mr. Flynn.
God bless you both.
Take care, Lawrence. Thank you.
Miss Maud, how nice to see you. Come on in.
I was just wondering if that Bavarian clock was ready.
Yes, indeed. Sit down, please.
Thanks. Although I don't know why I bothered to ask. Doesn't matter, really. It's just good to get out and about while you still can.
Lord willing, we both have a lot of good years left.
Oh, I'm not sure years are what the Lord has in mind for me, Lawrence.
You look wonderful, Miss Maud. Anything wrong?
The doctor just told me that I have what my father used to call a bad ticker.
Miss Maud, I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It's just life.
How come the taxi brought you? Your car in the garage?
Oh, no, it's my nephew. It's always Everett, isn't it? I came downstairs all dressed and ready to go, and the car was gone. I guess he's out joyriding with that friend of his, Hal Avery. That worries me.
Well, if I'd known, Miss Maud, I could have saved you the trouble and dropped it off at your place.
Everett is my problem, Lawrence, not yours.
I don't want that taxi running up the meter on you. I think you'll like the chimes now.
I know I will.
But if there's any problem,
I'm sure there won't be.
be good to yourself, Miss Maud.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Mr. Parkin, if you could just sign this. And if you don't need me for anything else, I'll see you in the morning.
I'm sorry. I got so busy down here, I've made you late again. Let me give you a ride home. Maybe we can stop off and get a bite to eat along the way.
Thank you. That's very nice. I really can't.
You have other plans?
Yes. I mean, no. Actually, I'm going to church.
Church? But it's Wednesday night.
Yes, it's a prayer service. But you could join me if you'd like.
Tonight, our hearts go out to the families of those young men about to invade Nazi-occupied France. For them, and for all those who face a great trial in their lives, let us say together the powerful words of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd.
I shall not want.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
Sorry if I seemed uncomfortable in there. Never been very religious.
You don't have to be very religious to talk to God.
That's just it. I don't even know if there is a God. I guess I'm too much of a cynic.
You said your father was a failure. Is that what made you cynical?
I probably shouldn't have said that. My father was really a wonderful man. Unfortunately, he let my mother destroy him.
What do you mean?
She walked out on us when I was 4. He never got over it.
Did he never remarry?
No, it was just the two of us. I guess it turned out all right. But a child really should have 2 parents. I admire your faith. I wish I had it.
There's no real way to explain faith. All I know is that sometimes God is the only friend you have.
The whole idea of a deity, I find incomprehensible. But a clock, now that I understand. A clock I can see, I can touch, I can even take it apart, discover its mysteries, then have Lawrence put it back together.
This is my place.
Oh.
I'll see you in the morning.
Hey, you don't get away that easy. I mean, at least not until I tell you what a special night this was. Not once, I mean, not one single solitary moment did I think about the plant or the war production board or cost overruns or... Good evening. All I thought about was you and God.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Where's David?
He'll be back in a moment.
What are you doing, still working? You're supposed to be down at the dance.
Oh, I didn't think anyone had missed me.
I missed you. You know, you have been as remote as Mount Everest for the last week, but you're not going to get out of at least one dance with me, Mary Chandler.
Well, I'll be down a little later.
I'll be waiting.
Men have been known to fight wars for the privilege of holding me in their arms. And all you had to do was give us a place for our charity dance.
Hey, Miss Chandler.
May I have the pleasure?
David, I'll save the last dance.
You work too hard, Mary Chandler.
Those WPB reports have to go out in the morning. They're overdue.
We're overdue for our first dance. Please do me the honor. Mary, tell me what's wrong.
Please.
I respect you too much to ever do anything that would hurt you in any way. If that's why you've been so...
No, it's not that at all. You don't understand.
I do understand. What we felt for each other as we danced was real. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's wonderful.
It's impossible. David, I should have told you.
There's somebody else? What then? Mary. What?
I'm pregnant, David. There was someone, a soldier, and I was foolish.
Does he know?
He was killed 5 weeks ago in Italy. And that's why I came here. To get a new start. I should have told you, but I really needed this job. Oh, David, I'll never forgive myself for deceiving you. You're the last person in the world I'd ever want to hurt.
David, there's a phone call.
I'll have to call him back.
It's urgent.
I said I'd call him back.
David, it's Washington.
Mary, wait here. I'm gonna be right back. All right? Wait here. I know that, Bob, but I still can't fly out tomorrow. Look, Bob, why can't we do this over the phone? I know it's important, but I have a priority of my own right here, now. Bob, I gotta go. I'll call you first thing in the morning. I will, I promise. Right, bye.
Dave, they're gonna make a decision within 24 hours. Why can't you fly out?
George, please.
It's Mary Chandler, isn't it? I told you not to get involved.
George, why don't you just shut up?
David, you look frantic.
Have you seen Mary?
Well, that poor girl ran out of here in tears. Come on, the fireworks are about to start.
Where are you going?
I can't stay here. I have to go.
You can't leave. We need to talk.
This is the only way.
No, listen to me. You belong here with me.
I don't know where I belong.
When I couldn't find you, and I thought I might never see you again, I felt like everything that was good in my life was gone.
How can you say that?
I know what I want. And what I want is to marry you.
Going to have another man's baby. Why would you ever want to marry me?
It doesn't matter, Mary. It doesn't matter. I'm asking you to marry me.
I don't want your pity.
It's not about pity. It's about love.
I can't do that to you. What will people think?
Mary, I don't care what people think. All that matters to me, all that matters is being with you. Catherine! Catherine! I want you to meet someone. Mary, this is Catherine. Catherine Taylor. She has been with me 8 years, and she is the best housekeeper any bachelor ever had. Catherine, Mary Chandler.
Hello.
The best secretary any boss ever had. And she's agreed to marry me next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Mr. Parkin, you've lost your senses. Sorry, ma'am, and it's a pleasure to meet you, but next week is impossible. So think of your social position. You owe your friends and your future wife a proper wedding.
Then we'll make it 2 weeks. Hello, hello.
Come in, Mr. P.
Lawrence, you would not believe what I'm here for.
That rose gold woman's watch you said you had no need for.
You know, I have always suspected you of being a mind reader.
And you found the right woman, right, Mr. P? Miss Chandler, isn't it?
Lawrence, I can't believe it. I hire a girl to straighten out my files, I find the only woman who can straighten out my life.
I knew it when I first saw you two together. I'm very happy for you, Mr. P. Have a seat.
Thank you. It's all going to be in a bit of a rush, so you won't get your invitation until just a few days before the wedding.
Are you sure you want me there?
You know better than to even ask that question. What's this? New acquisition?
No clock. That's my angel.
Your angel?
Yes. I thought I'd roll it out so I could see it.
It's beautiful. Where'd you find it?
It found me. I spent most of the summer repairing a steeple clock, and apparently the church treasurer ran over the building money, so the minister asked me if I'd take that instead for payment. I was tempted to sell it once during the Depression, but now I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm gonna have that put on my grave after I'm gone, so the people around here will know that I was worth something.
Wilt thou, David, take Mary as your wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
I do.
Wilt thou, Mary, take David as your husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
I do.
Rings, please.
With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. You may kiss the bride.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
David.
Dee Dee. Barbara, thank you so much for coming.
Dear David, I can't tell you how pleased I am that you finally found a young woman worthy of you. I hope you have a very happy life, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
I mean, we don't even know where she came from or who her people are. You're absolutely right.
Evelyn, I asked you not to do that.
If I'd known the libations were this good, I'd have come to one of these weddings a long time ago.
Hope you don't expect me to drive with you in your condition.
I'd be happy to drop you off on the way home, Miss Maud.
Thank you, Lawrence. You certainly did a wonderful job resurrecting that old Bavarian clock. The chimes have the sweetest sound now, thanks to you.
Well, the sweetness was in there all along, Miss Maud, just waiting to be brought out.
Oh, what a wonderful way to put it. Have you been through the reception line yet?
No, I like to sort of hang back until everybody else gets their time.
Well, yes, I think I will take this time. Thank you.
Again, how are you?
Mary, I want you to meet Maud Gannon, the gracious lady who made me feel welcome and was so helpful when I first got to this city. Miss Maud, my wife, Mary. You can tell how much I love saying my wife.
Well, it would take an exceptional woman to win the heart of David Parkin.
Well, he's an exceptional man.
He's such a perfectionist in everything. So I know he took all the time he needed to find exactly the perfect one. My best wishes to you.
Thank you.
You take good care of her now. Best to you both.
Thank you. I have something for you. It's your wedding gift.
David. It's exquisite.
It's to remind you every minute of every hour how much I love you.
Wherever did you find it?
Come here, come here. Lawrence found it.
Lawrence, it's beautiful.
Not nearly as beautiful as the bride.
Oh.
Thank you.
Dave, I can't tell you how happy I am about you and Mary.
Oh, thanks.
But, you know, it's been 6 months, and when are you going to stop acting like a newlywed and get back to business? Frankly, we're cash-starved. They've got all this work going on here, and the money's coming in down the road, but you've got to get out there and get us a job that pays right now.
George, I told you, I'm not taking any business trips for a while. Mary needs me too much right now, okay?
Catherine! Catherine!
Dear Lord, what's happened?
Call the doctor.
Dave, telephone.
Thanks, George. Hello? Wait, Catherine, slow down. What is it? Oh, my God.
Mr. Parkin, you can't come here.
No, David, stay. David.
Catherine, you know what to do. I'm having a difficult time stopping the bleeding. I'm afraid the baby could suffocate in the birth canal. God, if you're there, please. I have the baby turned.
Push, Mrs. Parkin. You're doing great.
The head's out. One more push. Just one more. That's it. Congratulations. You have a beautiful baby girl.
Here's Mom. Hello. And Daddy.
Oh, beautiful Andrea.
Happy birthday, Miss Andrea.
You made it. You made my bird feeder. Oh, thank you, Lawrence.
Well, there's still some work to be done on it. You think you can help me?
Yes.
Too bad Mr. Parkin couldn't get back for the party.
Well, I'm sure he tried. He must have gotten tied up. Look how much fun she's having. She's never happier than when Lawrence is around.
Let's paint it red.
Oh, no, Missy. Birds don't like bright colors. You scare them away.
When are they gonna come?
Take some time. You see, birds... Dear. Birds are suspicious, like some people.
What's suspicious?
Well, it means having a lot of questions like you.
Oh. What kind of birds are we gonna get?
Oh, bluebirds, redbirds, everybody in the rainbow is welcome.
Why are birds different colors?
Well, because God made them that way.
Is that why your skin's brown?
My skin?
Yeah.
That's right, Missy. Because God made it that way.
Daddy!
Oh, you sweetie.
Oh, it's so good to have you home.
Oh, it's good to be home. This is for you, Princess.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was the trip successful?
I'd say hopeful.
I miss my girls. I wish I could have gotten home soon.
Well, you did your best. And you do have a business to run.
What's that?
Mama, it's a doll. Daddy, she's so pretty.
Well, now I have 3 pretty girls. Arms up. There you go. Good night, sweetheart.
Daddy, don't leave.
Time to go to sleep.
Stay just a little longer.
Okay, but then you gotta go night-night.
Daddy, why do you have to go away to work all the time?
Because Daddy has to find new customers for his business.
I miss you when you're away.
I miss you too, Princess. Oh, I miss you too.
What's the matter? Something's on your mind.
I guess I'm just feeling guilty about being away so much. And I'm just dreading the day we have to tell Andrea I'm not a real father.
David, you are her real father. Being a father doesn't happen at the moment of conception. It happens over the years. When you love and care for a child, all the things you've done. Oh, I've failed you, haven't I?
Mary, it's not about that.
If only I could have given you your own child.
I couldn't love Andrea more if she was my own flesh and blood. You know that. I feel privileged to be her father.
And she's lucky to have you. And so am I.
Have I told you lately how much I love you?
Once or twice.
Miss Moore, let me give you a hand with this.
Thank you. Actually, I enjoy doing things for myself. It's a good thing, too, seeing as how I don't have anyone who's willing to help me.
What about your nephew?
Oh, I don't even want his help. In the car on the way over here, he asked me for another temporary loan. He and that Avery boy are always trying to weasel money out of me. Here. He thinks he's going to inherit my estate. I'm not going to leave him a cent. I'm going to leave it all to the church. Oh, well, enough complaining.
Miss Maud, do you know this is an original Seth Thomas?
Yes.
Worth a pretty penny. Look at that workmanship. You'll never see a finer piece.
Well, at least not outside of the workshop of Mr. Lawrence Flynn.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get onto it by the end of the week, if that's all right.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Here she comes.
Lawrence, I enjoy our visits.
Yes, indeed.
I'll see you next week.
It will be ready, Miss Maud.
Thank you.
Good day, gentlemen.
What is it? Are you all right?
I just had the most horrible nightmare.
Oh, sweet. What was it?
I dreamt I was holding Andrea in my arms. And I was rocking her to sleep, and this angel came through the window and took her from me.
Oh, honey. It was just a dream.
I have to see her, Dave.
Mary, you know she's fine.
God, she's sleeping like a lamb. It just felt so real.
Try to get some sleep.
I'm sorry I woke you.
Nah, it's okay. The alarm would have gone off in 10 minutes anyhow. My flight's at 7.
Darling.
Yeah.
Hold me for a moment.
Everything's all right.
Time to wake up, sweetheart. Catherine has a lovely breakfast waiting for you. Andrea?
Mama, my neck hurts.
Good girl. Good girl. Mary, I'm afraid it's meningitis.
How bad is it?
Well, it's too early to tell how serious.
What can I do?
Just what you're doing, bed rest, try to keep the fever down. The first 2 weeks are critical.
Could you?
Severe cases can lead to death, but we'll keep a close watch on her. Meningitis is highly contagious, so I'm going to have to quarantine the house.
What is it?
Meningitis.
And Mr. Parker has already left for Europe.
Catherine, I knew something terrible was going to happen. I had this dream. It can't come true. I won't let it.
Gentlemen, what can I do for you?
Gentlemen? Hear that, Ev? He called us gentlemen.
I think you got something belonging to my aunt.
Miss Maud send you?
Yeah, she did. Where is it?
I hope you don't mind if I don't believe you. Miss Maud knows that clock won't be ready till next week. Now, if you fellas are thinking about selling Miss Maud's clock just to get yourself some drinking money, you got another thing coming.
I'm thinking this fella don't know his place is what I'm thinking.
I know my place, and this is it. So unless you fellas got some other business to transact, there's the door.
Lawrence, you can't come in. Andrea has meningitis.
Meningitis? How long has she been sick?
Over a week now. And we still can't get her fever down.
Maybe I can pick her spirits up.
You always do, Lawrence. But this time you can't come in.
Well, I can come in, Mrs. P. I just can't come back out. Besides, I suspect you could use some help yourself.
Andrea? Look who's here.
I knew it would brighten my day once I saw you, Missy.
Can you tell me a story, Lawrence?
Sure. Do you know the bluebird story?
No, tell me.
Well, once upon a time, there was this bluebird who had a little girl as a very special friend. Now, do you know what her name was?
Andrea?
Right as rain. Andrea got sick one day, and nobody knew what to do. But Mr. Bluebird knew just the thing that would make her feel all better. I'm sorry, ma'am. I just put her right off to sleep.
It's just what she needs now. As much rest as possible.
Well, maybe you should get some rest too, Mrs. P. I can sit here with her.
No, Lawrence, I can't leave her. I just can't.
Excuse me, Mr. Parkin's on the phone.
David.
Hi, sweetheart. I just landed in Washington. I've got one more meeting tomorrow, then I'll fly home. You have no idea how much I miss you both. Mary, you still there?
Darling, Andrea has meningitis, and she's not responding to the medication.
I'll fly home right away. It's gonna be all right, I promise.
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Hi, honey. How is she?
At least she's resting.
Look, I'm sorry I wasn't here to help you through this. Catherine tells me that you haven't left her side since she got sick.
Well, she shouldn't have told you that. She and Lawrence worry too much. I'm fine.
You're not fine. You look worn out. And your resistance is low, so you could get sick too.
Well, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about Andrea. Suppose something happened to her.
Mary, stop doing this to yourself. It's that dream, isn't it?
Mama. Mama.
David, David, her fever's gone.
Where's Lawrence?
You stay with her. You're the first person she asked for.
That Missy sure knows how to steal my heart.
There you go.
Dog my cats, look at you.
Lawrence, what happened to the little girl?
What little girl?
The little girl named Andrea who got sick.
Oh. Well, let's see. The bluebird got all the other birds together, and they searched all over until they found her daddy and brought him home.
Daddy, did you bring me candy?
What do you think?
Now I know she's better.
Lawrence, I can't tell you how much Mary and I thank you for all you've done.
Oh. I'm the one that should be thanking you, Mr. P. I never realized how much joy one little spirit could bring into this world.
Mr. Flynn?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lawrence Flynn? Do you have something that identifies you?
I know who I am.
Yes, well, do you have somewhere we can talk?
This, clock that needs repairing?
No, this belongs to you. My name is Donald Potter. I'm an attorney and executor of the estate of the late Maud Gannon.
Miss Maud's dead?
You didn't know? I'm sorry. One of the provisions of her will was that this be left to you.
Did you know Miss Maud?
Not really. Only as her attorney, that is.
Not really. Dear Miss Maud, I guess she went about the time the good Lord spared Miss Andrea.
If you'll sign here, acknowledging receipt, our business will be concluded.
That surely does conclude our business. Good day, Mr. Potter.
Good day, sir.
Look, Mama, it's a dress.
Oh, how pretty. Go show it to Catherine.
Thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome, sweetie.
David, it's lovely, but it smiles too big. Maybe when she's 10.
I'm not good at this, am I?
Well, otherwise you'd be perfect.
There you go. And now a gift for my big girl. I hope you like it.
Nice paper.
Oh, I wrapped it myself.
Really?
What, you don't believe me?
David, it's beautiful.
I found it in an antique shop in London. Look inside.
A Bible.
Turn to the page with a bookmarker.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Remember the prayer service you took me to? It was our first date.
Only date. Oh, this is the most wonderful Christmas I've ever had.
Are you going to kiss Mommy?
I sure am. And don't think you're gonna get away without one. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You got a moment?
It's about losing that contract. We're not going back in again with a lowball bid. I'm not gonna let them force me into cutting the wages of my people.
Then what are we gonna do? If we don't get some new business, we're going under. Then what's gonna happen to your people?
Listen to me, George. I built this business during the Depression. We made it through the war, and I'm not about to let anything happen to this company or to those people down there. Sue, call Mary. Tell her I'll see her for dinner, but I'm going to stop by Lawrence's place on the way home. Hey, George, get that worried look off your face. Oh, my God. Lawrence. Lawrence, it's me. What happened?
He came in with that gun, mad because Miss Maud cut him out of her will. He said that I'd cast some sort of a spell over her and cheated him out of a valuable clock. I
I've been in war, and I know the look in a man's eyes when he's fixing to kill. But no clock that man was after. It was me. I tried to tear the gun out of his hand. It went off.
What the hell happened here? Did you kill him?
No. I did.
I thought you might like some tea. Why did you tell him you did it?
Why don't you think I did?
Because you're my husband, and I know you. You're not capable of killing anyone.
Everyone's capable of killing.
It was Lawrence who shot him, wasn't it?
I knew he'd never get a fair trial. And even if he was acquitted, Gannon's friends would come after him. The only way to protect him was to keep him out of it altogether.
How can he mean so much to you that you're willing to put everything we have in jeopardy?
During World War I, my father was the white captain of a Negro rifle company, and Lawrence was his sergeant. There was a battle in France. And my father's company was in the middle of it. They were getting cut to pieces. And in the middle of this battle, Lawrence repaired a machine gun and used it and allowed the whole company to escape. He saved my father's life. Dad proposed him for the Congressional Medal of Honor. Of course, he never received it. It was unthinkable for a Negro to receive such an honor in those days. But my father never forgot. And neither can I. I'd already lost my mother. Without Lawrence, I would have lost my father, too. I owe him. I owe this man.
We give the drill cutters half their previous area. We set up the production site for the new prototype drill over in that quadrant.
That'll work. David, the trial's tomorrow. It's still not too late.
George, please.
David, how can I be your friend if I don't tell you what I feel?
Look, I know what I'm doing.
I don't think you do. A self-defense plea might get Lawrence off. But in any case, he's an old man with few years left. You've got your whole life ahead of you.
What kind of a life would I have if I betrayed a friend?
You haven't betrayed anyone. And even if you had, the man's a Negro. You've got to think of your family first.
I have work. So do you.
David, Lawrence is here.
I'm sorry to drop by so late, Mr. P, but...
No, come on in, Lawrence.
We gotta talk.
Here, have a seat.
No, sir. Thank you. I can't let you do this.
Lawrence, you're not going to talk me out of this.
Mr. P, now don't get me wrong. I appreciate what you're trying to do for me. But a man's conscience is a powerful thing. The fact is, I can't live with this.
The fact is, if you put your fate in the hands of the law around here, you might not live at all.
But what if something goes wrong and they put you away? What about Mrs. P and Missy? What happens to them?
Nothing's going to happen.
Mr. P.
Nothing's going to go wrong, Lawrence.
Mr. P, I've never known any good to come of telling a lie.
You can't think of this as a lie. I'm doing this to protect you.
I don't need protection. I didn't do anything wrong. I've always put my trust in the man upstairs. All I have to do is tell the truth.
Lawrence, you know and I know that sometimes the truth isn't enough.
And when you crouched by the body of the shooting victim, did you ascertain that he was already dead?
Yes, I did.
What else did you determine?
Well, Ev Gannon, the victim, had been drinking. I got quite a whiff of 90 proof.
Officer Brooks, would you please use the pointer again to show the jury where Mr. Parkin was standing in relation to the victim?
Right about there, sir.
And he had the gun in his hands?
Yes, he did.
Who did that gun belong to?
It was purchased by Everin Gannon.
And where was Lawrence Flynn, the owner of the property?
He was sitting right there on the bed.
And how did Lawrence Flynn appear to you, Officer Brooks?
Like he was in shock. I figured since Gannon had trespassed on his place that he'd killed the man and Mr. Parkin had taken the gun from him.
Objection. Conjecture. Sustained. You'll disregard Officer Brooks' comment. Go on.
Forget what was in your mind, sir, and just tell us exactly what you said to Lawrence Flynn.
I said, what happened here? Did you kill him?
And what did Flynn say?
He didn't say anything. Mr. Parkin spoke up instead.
And what did Mr. Parkin say?
He said that he did it. That he shot the man himself.
Please examine the pistol, Mr. Parkin. Is that the weapon in question?
Yes, it is.
Will you please tell the court exactly what you saw and what happened when you entered Flynn's workshop?
When I entered the shop, Mr. Gannon had the gun pointed at Mr. Flynn. When he saw me, he turned and aimed the gun at me. But I knocked the barrel in the air before he could fire. And in the fight for the gun, it discharged, and Mr. Gannon was shot.
May I remind you, sir, of the testimony of the forensic expert, that there were 3 sets of prints on that gun. Yours, the victim's, and Lawrence Flynn's. Mr. Parkin, can you explain how Lawrence Flynn's prints got on that gun?
Yes, sir, I can. As Mr. Flynn has already testified, Mr. Gannon came into the shop and pulled the gun. They struggled over the gun.
Isn't it more likely, sir, that you concocted this whole story just to protect Lawrence Flynn?
No, sir.
Mr. Parkin, you're an intelligent man. I'm sure I don't have to explain perjury to you. So let me just remind you, sir, that you are under oath. Are you the man who fired the shot that killed Everin Gannon?
Yes, I am.
Will the defendant please rise? The jury has reached a verdict. The jury finds David Parkin not guilty. That he acted in self-defense. The defendant is hereby released from custody, and this court is adjourned.
Thank God it's over.
Your lies ain't fooling nobody, Parkin. You and your black friend think you can get by with this. But somebody's gonna have to teach you a lesson.
What is he talking about?
Hey, don't worry about him. Look, I've got to get to the plant. You take the car. George will give me a ride home. Okay? Hey, cheer up. We won.
I guess so. I don't know what to say.
Just say thank God.
I didn't know you believed in God.
Mama, can we have a picnic tomorrow?
That's a good idea. We'll do that.
Can Daddy come too?
I'm afraid Daddy has to work, sweetheart.
What time will he be home?
I'm not sure.
Can you tell Daddy to come kiss me goodnight, even if I'm asleep?
How about I give you a kiss goodnight before you go to sleep?
Daddy!
Hey, come here. Scoot back down here. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna make you a promise. I promise from now on, I'm gonna try and spend more time at home, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good night, sweetheart. Sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite you.
Good night, Daddy.
All right.
Good night, Mama.
Good night, sweetheart.
David, the house is on fire. Oh, dear God, Andrew!
Mary! 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 Andrea! Andrea!
Come on, baby. Get some help! Come on! Quick, Andrew. Come on, baby. Quick.
It's impossible for us to understand the death of a child. This precious life that we have nurtured from the moment of birth has become so much a part of us. So we must reach out from the darkness of our very human grief to the light of faith. As the scriptures promise, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Mary and David, let me assure you that the only love greater than a parent's love is the love that God has for his children. May it give you peace in knowing that your sweet Andrea will forever rest in the loving arms of our Heavenly Father.
You sure you're all right?
We appreciate everything you've done, George.
Don't worry, anyhow. I'll take care of things down at the plant.
Thank you.
I don't understand it, Mr. P. You spent this last year getting rid of the clocks. You spent all those years collecting. Are you sure you want to get rid of this last one. It's a beautiful piece.
It's not quite the last one. Mary won't let go of the rose gold watch.
Can you blame her? You gave her that watch on your wedding day.
I guess I'm not much on sentiment these days, Lawrence.
She was a very special girl, that little missy. Not a day goes by that I don't think about her. I used to look forward to every day I could spend with her. I don't have many sunrises left, but I'll always be sorry that little Miss Andrea had to die because of me.
Lawrence. Andrea didn't die because of you.
If Cal Avery hadn't hated me so much, this would not have happened.
Nobody brought more joy into Andrea's life than you did. And if anybody is responsible for her death, it's me.
I think we finally decided to sell the house,
Mary, I know how much you love it here.
but I'm ready to let go. The only way David will ever find peace of mind is if we leave this house.
Then he's not doing any better?
Oh, he's doing better if you're talking about work. The business is thriving, but he's never home. Whenever I try to talk about Andrea, he says nothing. You know, he hasn't even been to the cemetery since we buried her.
I'm sorry.
Please sit down. And it isn't grief I see in his eyes. It's anger. You know, it wasn't just Andrea's life that was taken away from me. I lost David, too. And now it's Christmas, and no matter how hard I try, there's nothing to celebrate. Are you sure you want to have some tea?
Mary.
I'm sorry, Father Mike. I wish I had a little more of the Christmas spirit.
Mary, in time, you'll learn to live with your grief. But not before you learn to forgive. God's love is based on forgiveness. He forgives us, and in turn, he expects us to forgive our fellow man.
How can we?
Maybe it's time to think about someone else. Time to do something for another child. I know a little girl named Martha who isn't gonna have much of a Christmas.
Father Mike.
How you doing, Ruth? This is Mary, a friend of mine. Could we come in?
Sorry about the house. It's sort of a mess.
Oh, it's fine. Did Martha do this?
Yes. She likes to make things.
It's very pretty.
Where is she?
Martha, you don't have to hide. It's just Father Mike and a friend of his. Martha Ann.
I like your Christmas tree.
This is my friend Mary.
Hello, Martha.
She brought you something.
It's for you. It's all right. It's yours to keep. David, I didn't expect you home so early.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hello, David.
Father?
I've had the most marvelous afternoon. Father Mike took me to meet the dearest little girl. If only you could have seen her. I gave her a little Christmas gift and her face just lit up. I wish you'd been there. For the first time since Andrea died, I found myself smiling. And her poor mother has 2 other children and no money to give them a Christmas.
Who is this family?
Well, the mother's really trying hard, but things have been very difficult for them ever since her husband went to prison. Martha's last name is Avery. She's Cal Avery's daughter. I wasn't trying to deceive you, Mary. I just wanted you to feel the spirit of Christmas again. I hope you and David can find it in your hearts to forgive.
Forgive? I've spent my whole life trying to forgive. First, my mother for leaving us. And now Cal Avery. And as hard as that's been, can never be as hard as forgiving myself. I let my little girl down. I let her down. I was supposed to take care of her, protect her. I failed her.
David. Come with me.
Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
How do you measure time? Is it in hours and years? Or is it more likely in love and relationships? For Mary and David, the lesson was clear. Time is precious. It is also elusive and finite. But the things that give us hope, love and family, faith and forgiveness, somehow transcend even the boundaries of time.